graduation last year, so it's nice to be able to finally walk across the stage.
It's been a really tough year, so I feel like having, you know, us here all together, we're all like graduating with our MSWs, it's like fantastic feeling.
With all the obstacles we have encountered through our time at the College of St. Rose, we feel like masters.
We do.
Yeah, it went by faster than I imagined, and luckily we were able to still make memories together, so that was amazing.
Even with COVID, when we thought that things weren't going to be possible, we still did it.
And we still get a graduation.
I commend each and every one of you for persevering through unprecedented times. We tackled the technical changes. We thought it was impossible, and they showed up and proved that it was not.
Feels amazing. A lot of hard work has finally paid off. So I'll miss the Veterans Center and working with student veterans every day and seeing them grow and seeing them develop to a successful college graduate.
I had a great experience at St. Rose. I got her family who embraced me, international office who embraced me and helped me out, and now I can say that Albany is my new home and St. Rose is my new home.
Honestly, after a long 5 years of getting my dual degree, it feels great. I'm so excited for what's to come next.
I mean, a lot of people helped me get here, so I'm really excited to graduate with my master's. It's a big deal for me. And we're also going on a trip to Cape Cod to celebrate.
Yeah.
So
I have actually accepted an offer at Albany Medical Center as a medical social worker, so thank you, St. Rose, for giving me my knowledge to be able to do that.
I'm currently working at St. Rose. I'm working in Res Life. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for putting up with my late night crying sessions when I was stressed. Thank you to my brothers, my family for being a constant support. Felicia, Miles, Mackenzie, John, you guys are the best. Thank you.
Dr. Avis, Dr. Wu for always pushing me and always believing in me. Just my parents as well, my family, a very great support system.
Honestly, we went through everything together, so that's probably my top memory after everything.
1, 2, 3.
It is now my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 commencement ceremony for those who have earned the master's degree or certificate of advanced study from the College of St. Rose. Let's hear it! Woo! Oh, come on, guys. You can do better than that. When you can't have the pomp because of the circumstances, what does a graduation look like? Well, a college graduation is a really big deal. And an advanced and master's degree is a huge milestone. For many decades, we've celebrated in the same formal way, waiting for the day to be distinct, unmistakable, linked to countless ceremonies of the past, and lots of cake. But last year, the class of 2020 didn't get that chance. But why? Because an event that changed lives and how we live them swept across the globe. But we promised them, and tomorrow we will fulfill that promise. Tonight, it's your night, your commencement. I wished I could give you a commencement with many more guests, no need for masks or social distancing, but this is the world according to the New York State Department of Health. You were not able to march in, but tonight you will be joined by some of the people who love you and support you. And you will hear your name ring out, and you will walk across that stage, receive your diploma, get your picture taken, and somewhere in your future, I see cake. So, master's graduates of the class of 2021, please stand, as obviously you are, and be recognized while we play pomp and circumstance. Families and supporters can applaud and cheer their graduates. And graduates, I expect nothing less than rowdiness from you. As you respond to those family members and supporters who have been there with you today, and those watching via live stream, and for you, your great accomplishments. The class of 2021 will not be defined by what you lost to this virus, but by how you responded to it. You are our proud legacy and heritage. Got more. Okay. Thank you. And by the way, this is my 20th commencement because I've been on the board for 20 years. And believe me, I envisioned you marching in, so it's already up in the mind. Before we begin, I would like to recognize members of the stage party that are with us today and who each represent important branches of our St. Rose family. Jeff Stone, chairman of our board. Dr. Mary Ann, yes? He's got a tough job, believe me. You would not want it, just telling you. Dr. Mary Ann McLaughlin, professor of mathematics, the most senior faculty member. And Dr. Angelina Maloney, president of the National Alumni Association. I also want to acknowledge those graduates who followed in their families' footsteps to St. Rose, or who have earned their second or third degrees. You will always be special to us because you continue the legacy of your family's connection to St. Rose. At this time, I would like all St. Rose alumni in the audience to stand and be recognized along with those 2021. I guess you have to sit down before you can stand up, right? Why don't you sit down first so we really can recognize this? Who edited this script, by the way? Is there a professor of English on the stage? No? Okay, next time we'll fix that. All right, so let's do this by saying, you will always be special to us because you continue the legacy of your family's connection to the college. And at this time, I would like all St. Rose alumni to stand and be recognized along with those 2021 graduates who are related to the St. Rose alumni or who already are alumni. So, where are you? Yes, all right. Awesome. Thank you for making St. Rose an important part of your family's story and ours. In the 3 ceremonies we'll hold this weekend, we will award degrees and certificates to the more than 1,500 students who represent the diversity of our state, our country, and the world. The beautiful flags you see on the stage, including one of our own great country, and the other 76 countries of origin of our students. as well as the flags of our 5 United States military branches. These flags serve as a reminder of the connections we share across geographic, racial, ethnic, religious, and cultural divides. To those of you watching this ceremony via video stream from other countries and from other parts of the United States, welcome home to St. Rose. We are glad you are with us. Now, will everyone please stand for the National Anthem, which is being performed today by Mallory Meyer, a 2020 music education graduate and a member of the New York State Army National Guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Mallory. That's what's called rocking it. Thank you. At this time, in recognition of our National and Campus Challenge to realize justice and the equality of all people of color, including our St. Rose students and families, we will play Lift Every Voice and Sing, one of the most cherished songs of the civil rights movement and often referred to as the Black National Anthem. It will be performed by class of 2021 music graduate Mark Manning.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoices rise high as the listening sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Oh, sing a song full of the hope that the dark past has brought us. Sing a song full of the faith that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won, is won, is won.
Thank you, Mark, for that beautiful and historic song. It is now my pleasure to ask that Sister Danielle Benetti, a member of the college's Board of Trustees, deliver the invocation. This year, all three of the invocations at our commencement ceremonies will be delivered by a trustee who is also a sister of St. Joseph of Carondelet. In this way, we connect the founding of our college by those courageous nuns 100 years ago with our present and our future. Their progressive values of social justice, love for all without distinction, and lifting barriers to education so that all could succeed remain the foundation and driving spirit of the college today.
Kind and loving God, you are present with us as we come to this time and place. Let us be fully present to this moment, a moment unlike any other. This is a time to be truly amazed. Loving God, these graduates of 2021 have followed a path through uncharted territory of disappointment, fear, sorrow, and loss. But today, through your grace, O God, they are here and we are here with them. God of wisdom and mercy, grant these precious graduates patience to listen to the needs of our world. Give them compassion to be open to others whose views and opinions may be different from their own. Give each one of these brave women and men the generosity to forgive the hurts of others, and the grace to change themselves. You have taught us all to love our dear neighbor. I pray that you give them strength to be healing instruments of unity and reconciliation in our divided and troubled world. And now, as we stand on the brink of so much that is unknown, you call us to celebrate with great courage all that is and all that our world calls us to be. To all that has brought us to this day and to all that lies ahead, let us together say, Amen. Amen, amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Sister Danielle, for this wonderful, moving innovation. We are incredibly grateful for the leadership of our Senator, United States Senator Charles Chuck Schumer, in ensuring funding during the pandemic through 2 higher education emergency relief acts and the American Rescue Plan. Senator Schumer ensured that private college students like you were included in his funding plan. Senator Schumer usually joins us at commencement this year. We are pleased that he will deliver a video message.
Hello, College of St. Rose. This is Senator Chuck Schumer, and it's my honor to address the faculty and staff, the family and friends of the graduates, but most of all, you, the classes of 2020 and 2021. Congratulations. Now, I'm really sorry I can't join you in person as I do almost every year, but I'm grateful that modern technology allows us to still be connected on this graduation day. You are special, and I wouldn't want to miss congratulating you, COVID or not. First, a quick word to the parents. As a parent myself, I know how hard it is to raise kids these days, and how much you've invested in them. But it all pays off as you watch your son or daughter receive their diploma and become an adult before your very eyes. Congratulations to the moms and dads. You know, everyone says your senior year in college will be the most memorable, and for many of you it probably has been, but certainly not in the way you've expected. With COVID affecting our nation's health, our nation's economy, and your senior year, these have been unusual and difficult times. The challenges of this moment are truly unique, but so has been our collective response. The fact that we're still celebrating this graduation and not letting COVID stand in the way, even if we're celebrating differently, just goes to show you that New Yorkers won't let anything stop us from honoring what is so important in life. And nothing can take away from the fact that you've earned a degree from such a fine institution of higher learning. We have a long way to go, but for the first time in more than a year, we can start thinking about what it'll be like to return to normal. We're beginning to see light at the end of the tunnel, thanks to safe and highly effective vaccines. They're nothing short of a medical miracle, and I'm proud to have helped lead the way in Congress by prioritizing vaccine research, production, and most of all, distribution, so that everyone who wants a vaccine can now get one. And as Senate Majority Leader, the first ever from New York, I worked hard to pass the American Rescue Plan, which is putting money in the pockets of people and small businesses who have been hurt by this crisis, and helping our society recover in so many different ways. Now, I'm pushing President Biden to forgive $50,000 in student loans, a crushing burden for millions of college students around the nation. With a flick of a pen, he could wipe this debt clean and create a brighter future for so many people, including many of you. And so, to the classes of 2020 and 2021, my message to you is simple. Right now, it may feel like the future's uncertain. Many of you may not be sure of what's going to happen next. But what has been true throughout history is just as true today. That even in times of difficulty, there are always new opportunities, new ways of thinking, of doing things a better way. It's natural to fear the unknown. I'm sure many of you do right now. But don't let the harshness of this past year prevent you from seizing new opportunities. They're out there. You just have to keep your eyes open to them. Don't forget, you have incredible assets, a college degree from a great institution, and loving families who will have your back through thick and thin. Our nation is overcoming this pandemic, and we need your help and your courage to rebuild our country even stronger than it was before. This past year has revealed the injustices and prejudices that persist in our society, and we just can't go back to the way things used to be. We must make our society better, and we know we will, because you are our future leaders and because we have faith in you. So, to the College of St. Rose classes 2020 and 2021, I say once again, congratulations, good luck, Godspeed.
Before I turn it over to our commencement speaker today, I would like to share my incredible gratitude with you for sticking with us and being here today. This ceremony is about your fortitude and persistence. You're faced with so many challenges, tangible ones like using technology, the loss of personal space, loss of jobs, and time with your friends. You also had intangible challenges as well. Overcoming fear, exhaustion, self-doubt, and for some, terrible grief at a loss of a loved one. At this time, I would ask that we pause for a moment of silence for all who suffered losses and for all lives who were lost in the past year and continues to be lost in this pandemic. Thank you. You faced all of these external challenges during a once-in-a-century pandemic, all while completing the work you needed to finish your master's degree and advanced certificates. Your experience taught you things you didn't want to know, and it gave you gifts you didn't want to see. You accepted that sorrow and strife are part of even a joyful life. That if it isn't possible to go on as you were before, you go on as you never have. That's what we do. That's what St. Rose graduates are made of. Today we honor your resilience and strength of spirit, and this year we selected commencement speakers who are part of our St. Rose family and who have their own stories to share of resilience and strength of spirit, of accomplishments and leadership. The most terrible and beautiful and interesting things that happen in life, whatever happens to you, belongs to you. The process of regaining our footing in the midst of a struggle or a pandemic is where all courage is tested and our values are forged. This is your story. It's my story too, because I'm one of you. I'm a first-generation graduate of the College of St. Rose. I didn't lose anything or anyone this time with this pandemic, but history would find me years earlier, after my father came home from World War II. He was a bomber pilot with Hell's Angels, flew over 32 missions, including D-Day. But on his final mission, one of his engines was shot out over Molesworth, England. My father landed that plane engulfed in flames and saved his entire crew. But when he returned home, he couldn't save his co-pilot in life. My mother died of leukemia when I was a little girl. My mother would always be that empty hole in my heart that no one could fill. But what did fill that hole was the greatest gift she could give me, her unshakable faith. When I reached high school, my father told me I wouldn't go to college. He couldn't afford it. But it was sort of like putting a red cape in front of a bull. It was a long journey, but I attended my commencement right here on this stage at the age of 53. It was at St. Rose that the Sisters of St. Joseph filled that hole in my heart with their values, which are especially meaningful as we celebrate the college's centennial this year. These values will enable you to get through the darkest times and can be the strong foundation for a fulfilling life. The unifying theme of resilience and faith resides in each and every one of you. When I look out in this arena today, I not only see graduate students of the class of 2021, I see warriors who, like our founders, will stand up to injustice, fight for equality in the arena, and who care deeply about the plight of our world, its people, and its environment. I see strength, tenacity, persistence, resilience, fortitude, and courage. Lots of courage. In the last year, we have seen that it is who you are, and that is who and only who you need to be to continue writing your story. And I love what I see. We all do. Congratulations, class of 2021. Graduates of 2021, you are now and will always be part of this institution's founder nearly 100 years ago by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet to empower women when education opportunities for them were limited. Although the world has changed in many ways, access to education has never been more critical. It is now my honor and pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker this year, Dr. Cicely Wilson Turner, Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Institution for the City School District of Albany, and a graduate of our Advanced Certificate Program in Educational Leadership. Dr. Turner holds a bachelor's degree from Princeton University, a master's degree from the NYU, and a doctorate from the Teachers College of Columbia University. You will note that a complete biography of Dr. Wilson Turner is included in your program. Dr. Wilson Turner, it is my honor to turn the podium over to you.
Good evening and congratulations. I want to thank the College of St. Rose for providing me with this opportunity to be a part of this evening's celebration of your accomplishments. I commend each and every one of you for persevering through unprecedented times. You have been forced to learn a lot about yourself in the last year and a half. You have navigated lockdown and social and political unrest. You have had to reflect on where you stand and where we stand as a community and a nation. This evening, I would like to share some thoughts with you on the power you have to help others navigate and shape sustainable change. Children, staff, and clients will follow your lead. Your tone, your actions, and the small victories you obtain and celebrate will serve as the model of how to work through change. At the school level, we were petrified with how students would handle returning to in-person school after the abrupt school closure last spring. How much learning did they lose? How will they handle wearing a mask and staying 6 feet apart? How will students learn remotely for an extended period of time? How will this affect our students and their families' social-emotional needs? How can we possibly make this work? So we built plans and revised plans, and with each new iteration of guidance, we revised again. We staged classrooms for 6 feet social distancing. We trained teachers in online learning platforms. We committed to daily social-emotional learning periods. We figured out how to serve lunch and breakfast and how to deliver instruction in cafeterias and gymnasiums. We tackled the technical changes, the changes that have concrete fixes. And like most organizations, we redefined what it meant to pivot. Our teachers, hall monitors, nurses, social workers, support staff, and administrators dug deep and opened school. And the students followed our lead. They understood the gravity and importance of being able to return to school. They accepted that for this year, the gym would be their classroom and the physical education teacher would be their supervisory adult for part of the day, or that they would learn completely from home. They pivoted. They showed grace, and they continued to learn. And for the most part, they kept their masks on and worked really hard to stay 6 feet apart. Until we saw their faces on that first day of school, we thought it was impossible. And they showed up and proved that it was not. As we walked the building on the first day of in-person school, it was hard to believe that we had gotten our students back to school. Our exhausted and overwhelmed staff made sure students knew that we were excited to be back and that we would do everything that we could to make this year a positive year. No matter what they felt inside about everything changing every day, they worked and revised our plans and showed students that despite this being a very different year, it is not impossible. We tackled the adaptive changes of this year together wherever possible. It is important for you to remember that the people who have to live through the challenges of change have to be a part of defining how that change comes to pass. Paulo Freire and Ronald Heifetz both indicate that adaptive change requires new ways of doing things and thinking, and it must come from the community or organization to be successful and sustainable. Your charge is to build the capacity of individuals and create a holding space for people to take ownership and discover their role in successful and sustainable change. You are to provide the space and opportunities for the people you serve and the organizations you work in to reach their full potential. Avoid the binary that as the leader of the classroom, the building, the district, the session, or business, that you are in charge, and by virtue of your title or positional authority, people must listen to you. That is not leading. Some of the most powerful work I do in my district is working with groups of students, parents, teachers, or administrators, and checking my title at the door to honor the perspective and expertise in the room. Every time I walk away with something stronger than the original idea, and the participants walk away knowing and believing in their role and their capacity to sustain the change. Always view those you work with as central to the work that you do, central to the decisions that are made, and ensure that their voice and their experience shape the path to growth, achievement, and change whenever possible. Every time you face challenges or change, you will have to decide how to navigate it for yourself, and then how you will help those you work with navigate it. Remember, they will follow your tone, your reactions, your lead, but you will not do the change work for them. It will be your responsibility to create a holding space where people thrive and sustain through change. However, it will not be enough to try or work really hard to obtain the outcomes you seek for those you will work with. You will need to look beyond your efforts and your good intentions and determine your impact. There's a quote from a faculty meeting I attended years ago. I won't say how many because I can't believe how long I've been doing this, and a concept that resonates with me until this day. My principal at the time posed the question: if you taught the lesson, but the students didn't learn it, did you teach it? When I became an assistant superintendent, I found myself saying to administrators, if you communicate it through an email and a staff member doesn't read it or retain it, did you communicate it? So you know, immediately people's reactions were, I worked really hard on that lesson plan and to deliver it. Yes, I taught it. Or, all they have to do is go back and look through the 675 emails and find the color-coded, bulleted daily email message I sent to find the minutes from the meeting. However, what we all need to consider is, and I say all because I am a color-coded, bulleted email type of girl, what does it really mean to lead, to teach, to counsel, to communicate, to advise, to change our communities and organizations? If your student, teacher, client, customer does not receive the intended message or obtain the desired outcome, did your impact match your intention? Most people believe they are well-intentioned. However, in the fields represented here today, you need to consider more than just the good you want to do and the goals you want to achieve. And focus each day on whether you have achieved your intended impact with your audience. Probably never more so than this year, people talked about how hard they worked, how flexible they had to be, and how much they had to pivot as everything kept changing around us. However, these efforts in themselves are not the goal. Each day you have to work to do things better than before and to leave your organization better than you found it. You have to look beyond your efforts and intentions and ask yourself, what did I accomplish? Who did I help or serve? And how do I know? You will need to look at the data that surrounds you daily in its qualitative and quantitative forms. People will try to make data a negative word or politicize it, but data isn't everything that we do. You have to be intentional about the data you collect, how you collect it, and how it is used in your organization. If you taught the lesson, what is the data that the students met the objective? If you provided professional learning, what is the data that it changed adult practice? If you are a part of the community improvement effort, what is the evidence that you met the needs of that community? The data in all of its varied forms will define your impact, not how hard you worked, nor your good intentions. Your families, students, and clients will place their trust in you, and they will follow your lead. They will respond to the challenges, difficulties, and change with the tools you give them and the model you show them. They will expect your impact to match your intentions. Better yet, they need your impact to match your intentions. They need you to hear their voice as you shape the path and goals for your work with them. They need you to see their experiences, interests, and hopes and build them into the classroom, business, or organization that will serve them. Own your intentions, your beliefs, your behavior, and your impact. Embrace the power that you have to build the capacity of others to leverage change and sustain the transformation. Once again, congratulations, and thank you for the opportunity to share in your celebration this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wilson-Turner. Very inspiring, very courageous, food for thought. And for all the contributions you make to the city of Albany, for its future leaders, and many of those that were looking forward to becoming students here at the College of St. Rose. Thank you again. Assisting in the presentation of the master's degrees and certificates of advanced study are Dr. Margaret McLean, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Yeah, let's do that. Dr. Raj Araskar. Yes, woo! I got so excited I didn't even think he had a second name, but he does, and it's beautiful. He's the Dean of the Heather School of Business. Dr. Terry Ward, Interim Dean of the Thelma P. Lally School of Education. And Dr. Ian McDonald, Dean of the School of Science, the School of Mathematics and Science. Margaret, it is now time for the awarding of the certificates of advanced study and master's degree.
Yes, and to ensure that each graduate can be seen by their family and friends, please respect the space of those around you, and please do not come on to the main floor. The dean will hand each graduate their diploma. Please keep your distance as much as possible. You will be able to pause as directed in the spot labeled Pause for Photo. If you so choose, you may remove your mask for this photo for a few seconds. Please put your mask back on and proceed off the stage. Will the candidates who have earned dual degrees, both bachelor's and master's, and the candidates for Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Education degrees, and certificates of advanced study, please stand. Interim President White, I present to you the candidates who have earned dual degrees, both bachelor's and master's, and the candidates for the Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Education, and certificates of advanced study. The faculty and I attest that they have met the qualifications and requirements of their respective degrees.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the College of St. Rose and the Board of Regents of the State of New York, and upon recommendations of the graduate faculty, I admit you to these master's degrees and certificates of advanced study.
The Master of Bachelor Business Administration graduates in the Heather School of Business are Christina Marie Anderson. Daisy Valentina Bastor-Royal. The Master of Business Administration graduates in the Heather School of Business are Timothy L. Buff, Jr. Nicolina Cochran. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Austin Michael Hayostek. Sadia Hussein. Sunitha Kamari Rakamal. Wari Nesaneso Isaac. Jordan Taylor Jamal. Karamjat Kaur. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Ethan M. Lally. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Brandon Tyler Mason. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Johnny Pullman. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Betsy Denora Cazeda Hernandez. Jennifer M. Rosano. The Master of Science graduates in the Heather School of Business are John R. Braun. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Darnay Isaiah Camp. Andrew J. Guzman Melendez. Sean Allen Miller. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Ann Linsha Jennifer Mamperuso. Kieran Nazir. Emmanuel Giuseppe Renda. The Certificate of Advanced Study graduates in the Heather School of Business, Mirdel Giffard. Yes, changing the guard, School of Education. The Master of Science in Education graduates in the Thelma P. Lally School of Education are Melissa Joan Avery. Lonnie Danelle Babcock. Brooke Elizabeth Bailey. Fiona Jane Beaton. Teresa Christine Belfance. Serena Carmela Biskey. Vivian Ruth Black. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, Danielle Colleen Blumberg. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study, Kaylee Ray Brunel. This graduate has also earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, Megan Dakota Carlson. Lauren Lee Castellana. Caitlin Cameron Gavell. Meredith Page Monty. Elliot Madeline Clark. Amanda Rachel Conklin. Kennedy Renee Connor. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study, Kyle P. Cotter. Natalie Ann Kaus. Gabrielle Rose D'Alessandro. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, Maya Berget DeGary. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, David Charles DiMaggio. Allison L. Discanio. Mary Kathleen Durkin. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Amanda Carolyn Elizabeth Esposito. Jennifer Ann Foreman. Brooke Ann Gamelli. Connor Joseph Gray. Aaron Taylor Gross. Chris Hassler. Luke Richard Horton. Sarah Elizabeth Hummel. Alyssa Lee Jaquinto. Christopher Vincent Johnson. Jessica Morgan Jones. Ethan Richard Kizelis. Agnes Loffer. Renee Claire Lawler. Sabrina Joy Leviton. Juliana Marie Luciano. Ashley Nicole Momberg. Taylor Elaine Martino. Samantha Christina Miller. Brianna J. Maroney. Carly M. Morsat. Leah Matulina Murphy. Gianna Marie Pasqualetti. Antonio Angela Piccarello. Melanie Page Pausick. Mackenzie Marissa Pratt. Kristen Alicia Prisbulo. Rocco J. Pucciella. Sydney Ariel Ramos. Taylor Marie Resso. Emily Melissa Sacchetti. Viviana Cruz Salce. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Dominic Anthony Shekatano. Marley Faith Spencer. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Savannah Lee Talavera. Gabrielle Christine Tajaki. Addison Nicole Todd. Lana Rose Torrens. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Anthony J. Umina. Jennifer Lynn Valicenti. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Janessa Velez. Nicole Emily Weiss. Sophie Clarice Westfield. Abigail Eve Wood. Caitlin Bond Warraby. Caitlin has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Krista Lynn Zelinka. The Certificate of Advanced Study graduates in the Thelma P. Lally School of Education are Luanu Alberta Berry. Genesee Lauren Bradbury. Paige Kathleen Bressett. Erica Lynn Burton. Carolyn A. Campagna. Mackenzie Aaron Carroll. Nicole Cast. Angel Guillermo Gutierrez. Julie Catherine Handel. Nicole J. Harrigan. Rachel Ann Horn. Christopher Sean Kirkpatrick. Cheyenne Logan. Brittany Rose Murray. Sarah Elizabeth Samuscott. Alyssa Frances Diane Taylor. Sarah Ann Uzzi. Jacqueline Cara Wertel. Gina Erica Zuckrow. Math and Science. Dr. McDonald. The Master of Science graduates in the School of Mathematics and Sciences are, and this graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, Trevor David Bally. Rachel Barnett. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, Cedric Lee Brown. Charles Manuel Callejo. Dana Renee Nicole Delgenio. Casey Mercedes Edwards. Elizabeth Grace Gaynor. Shannon P. Gizzy. Daisy Gomez Gonzalez. Kayla M. Kaiser. Stacy Lynn Lover. Raymond Scott Lawyer. Taylor Joan Lee. Davinia L. Mayo Dunham. Kevin J. Miller. Marissa C. Morris. Aaron Murray. Ashley Peart. Antonia M. Pepe. Kelsey J. Quackenbush. Renuka Rajkumar. Gabriela Dolores Rivera. Sadaf Guman Sheikh. Amit Shrestha. Yuzral Tripathi. Manadeep Banam. Elizabeth Van Bramer. Sasmitha Vapala. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Isa Yabrasov.
Let's give all of our graduates a round of applause. Come on. Make some noise. Woo! deserve it. I would also like to express our gratitude to the college's faculty, whose dedication, expertise, experience, but also care and concern and compassion have enabled you to earn your degree and receive the education and skills to go out into this world and make a difference and make it whatever you want it to be. Let us all give the faculty present today and those watching via live stream our applause and recognition. We're deeply grateful.
Before we end the ceremony, I would like to thank all those who have worked extraordinarily hard in a pandemic to make this very special event happen. For those watching on the live stream, the names of those graduates not able to be with us will be read and scrolled on the screen to honor all those who earned a degree this year. Whether you were able to be present or not, the earning of a degree is an accomplishment that is yours forever. As an educator, I am especially touched and proud to have this opportunity to acknowledge your academic achievements. I know that many of you are also in the teaching and related professions. Your work in schools and classrooms this year has been truly heroic, and on the behalf of all of us at the College of St. Rose, we thank each and every one of our graduates. Graduates, this is the moment you have been waiting for. Now that your degrees have been confirmed, on the count of 3, you are going to move your tassels from the right to the left. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Stand so we can really applaud you now. Come on, let's see this. This is happening. Parents, come on, get to your feet. Supporters. Woo! The 2021 Masters Commencement Ceremony is now concluded. It's time for cake. We need some music here, don't you think? I mean, this is a rock arena. Come on. Yeah. Where's Live Nation when you need them, you know? Great. Got it? Turn it up. Come on. That's what I'm talking about.
The candidate for the College Experience Certificate is Matt Bambino. The Bachelor of Arts graduates in the School of Arts and Humanities are Frank E. Bearden, Christopher Raymond Bishop, Stanley W. Dennis, Marcy Nicole Drezek, Patrick Driscoll, Liz Marie Garcia Rivera, Kyle Kenneth Gingal, Alexander Travis Horton, Talia D. Johnson Harris, Maida Marina Khan, Sydney Marie Manning, Suzej Mendoza, Kyle Peter Mioli. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Aaron Francesco Muia, Jessica Murray, George Henry Ostrowski, Nadia Jewel Payan, John P. Pierce, Lily Nicole Preshaw, Nathaniel James Raymond, Luis Angel Rodriguez. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Kelsey Rose Taylor, Dimitri Robert Wind. The Bachelor of Fine Arts graduates in the School of Arts and Humanities are Yusuf E. Abdelmajid, Hannah Jackson, Goodness Niana Okoro, Lisa Marie Schroeder, Yequin Ji. The Bachelor of Science graduates in the School of Arts and Humanities are Christopher Tyler Campanella, Daniel J. Carr, Aidan William Rowdy Draft, Andrew James Durand, Robert S. Farino II, Alma Linda Gonzalez, Sean W. McNair, Brad Carl Monkau, Lillian Madison Morgan, Anthony Louis Potente III, Nicholas Thomas Santos, Joshua Stephen Schultz, Juliana Santos Sweeney, Joseph Dominic Tyrone. The Bachelor of Science graduates in the Heather School of Business are Gregory Thomas Allard, Roger Daniel Bageka, Amanda Pashka Desage, Andrea Lynn Feliciano, Kyle Nabus Gaynor, Carissa Lynn Golson, Martine Evelyn Greenblatt, William Connor Hennessy, Callie Lauren Jones, Imani Knowles, Liam P. Legioness, Jose Armando Meseda, Anna Magilio, Donovan Denzel Mayers, Angel Jeffrey McCullough, Jade Alexis McCoy, Gopi N. Patel, Gregory Joseph Powell, Brianna Fawn Robinson, Alyssa Duvita Senechar, Angelo Cibontini, Christian Patrick Testo. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Austin Von Herbulis, Dominic J. Vicarello, Nicholas R. Zuba. The Bachelor of Science graduates in the Thelma P. Lally School of Education are, and this graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, Annie Morgan Adamski, Carly Adelaide Baker, Casey Marie Baumeister, Molly Ann Bittig, Lisbeth Canto, Claire N. Carpenter, Dana Antoinette Costco, Skylar E. Davidson, Mary Catherine Evers, Alana Ashley Garmley, Joseph Anthony Garozzo, Ryan Casey Hinkle, Amelia Abigail Jones, Abigail Jeanette Kennedy, Brian Kurt Ledoux, Anna Danielle Maglioka, Samantha Page Matthews, Alexis Taylor McCarthy, Brittany T. Murray, Madeline Alice Percy, Jessica Marie Perkins, Kaylee Ann Poliafico, Caitlin Marie Retchenberger, Crystal Marie Rios, Jordan Michelle Rockwell, Megan Emma Rossborough, Nadine Headland Scoville, Caitlin Marie Shoemaker, Sidra Smith, Christopher Tapia, Lindsay Ann Thornton, Taylor Jane Tilford. The Bachelor of Arts graduates in the School of Mathematics and Sciences are Noah Andrew Carter, Tyler M. Fier Colmier, Zay Charisma T. Harris, John Joseph Hyman Martin. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Tristan Ann Curran, Gloria Yvette Rivera, Emilicia Grace Smith, Mark Philip Tabellis. The Bachelor of Science graduates in the School of Mathematics and Sciences are Leanne Lydia Bernard, Lily Nicole Brenchley, Essence Yvonne Bryant, Victoria Ray Bull. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Joshua James Ballard, Theron Gerald Bullock, Grant S. Burns, Hayden Patrick Carney, Angela M. Choliwa, Megan Lynn Cooper, Timothy John Kramer, Anthony E. Dawson, Lee Marie Dollard, Melanie Ann Donlin, Jason Enrique Dougal, Michael Daniel Duran Montero, Aaron Edgar, Tiffany Marie Verstuen, Fernanda Marie Fox, Ashley Nicole Freels, Jeshua Alexis Galusha, Frank F. Hauser, Maya Lourdes Hughes, Natalie Clarice Kelly, Carly A. Kerr, Jordan Elizabeth Kittle, Abigail Clancy Cronau, Marika Lorindu, Nicholas Patrick Lee, Andrew J. Lewell, Alexander Wadsworth Manios, Joseph Benjamin Markham, Taylor Lynn McKeon, Ryan Melton, Gregory Richard Myers, Jasmina Angelica Mujanovic, Daniela Nolasco, Elizane Sierra Parson, Nereda Ramirez, Hunter James Ryan, Giovanni F. Saldana, Sophia Elizabeth Salino, Samantha Jean Seuss, Timothy Bernard Stark, Olga Susanna Tajada, Gannon A. Thompson, Jose Francisco Torres, Michael Robert Ballerino, Alexandra M. Warner, Kylie L. Warner, Samuel H. Winter, Chao Yan Yu, Zoe D. Zulsdorf. The Master of Business Administration graduates in the Heather School of Business are Michael Berkowitz, Robin Elizabeth Bend, Ryan E. Diety, Michelle Ann Fusco, Emily D. Gilman, John Robert Graham. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Liam James Guyton, Chaz Stephen Lacko, Savannah M. Leverio, Stephen A. McMeans, Stephen John Marchese, Ying Meng, Shannon M. Moore, Keith Christopher Payette, Sarah Mabel Terrell. The Masters of Science graduates in the Heather School of Business are Michael J. Alfano. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Daniel Aaron Graham, Sohail Iqbal, James R. Marinek, Jeffrey Allen Sega, Maggie Tang, Pearl Igosa Imoyi. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Austin Von Herbliss, Justin Thomas Willis. The Master of Science in Education graduates in the Thelma P. Lally School of Education are Rachel Lynn Abadiello. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Annie Morgan Adamski, Muhammad Hamad G. Al-Shalan, Brian Avery, Jordan Taylor Babbitt, Allison G. Barranca, Jamie C. Becker, Mary Kathleen Ann Beglin, Anna Marie K. Bertrand, Henry Best, Emily Lynn Blow, Emily Sandra Bonesteel, Kelia Anna Brennan, Olivia Ashley Bruni, Taylor Cardona, Madeline Renee Hunt Carollo, Carissa Ray Carrier, Sydney Cook, Claire Fitzpatrick Crozier, Kelsey Joanne Davidson, Gabriella Marie Della Pina, Leah Delosa, Margaret Jane Donnelly, Stephen Perry Dukensky, Sharon Rosemarie Edwards Grant, Lisa Marie Eman, Carly Ann Ebel, Paige Ellis, Allison Marie Ing, Nicole Summer Everett, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Mackenzie Collins Flynn, Elena Jordan Faust, Allison Laurel Gallagher, Leslie Gangemi, Claire Helene Greenhill, Abigail Alyssa Hambridge, Peyton Olivia Hinla, Harley Page Imra Allegretta, Kelsey Morgan Johnson, Ashley Marie Johnston, Megan Caroline Kinney. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Tristan Ann Corin, Kristen Marie Kritzecker, Megan Eileen LaChapelle, Lynette Laverity, Jiping Lee, Nicole Emily Lomangino, Erica Eileen Long, Jolie Ann Ludwig, Lexi Kendall Lynch, Connor G. March, Lauren Ann Martelli, Chelsea Mariah McFarland, Alexandra Mary McManus, Caitlin Mackenzie Mayer, Rebecca Louise Merriman, Harim Jemshahid Minhas, Mackenzie Marie Morrison, Noura Mustafa. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Aaron Francesco Mua, Caitlin Murphy, Dimple Permal, Victoria M. Persico, Keisha Lee Philistin, Nicholas Perficato, Luke Samuel Riccio, Elizabeth Lois Riley, Jennifer Sarah Rock, Maria Kaylee Rowe, Elizabeth Marie Rupsha, Benjamin Kane Russell, Alexis Ray Rytel, Holly Teresa Salmon, Joshua Aaron Sangaline, Adam M. Swensfire, Krista L. Seeberger, Justin D. Serafini, Alexis Elizabeth Toronto. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Kelsey Rose Taylor, Gaetano Baccaro, Shannon Johanna V, Laura Suzanne Walters. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Danielle M. Waters. This graduate has earned a master's degree and a certificate of advanced study. Jessica S. Welch, Lee Marguerite Wellahan, Lauren Michelle Wolfe, Sydney Elizabeth Wolfe. The Certificate of Advanced Studies graduates in the Thelma P. Lally School of Education are Pauline M. Benjamin, Catherine Murphy Bragg, Shannon Rose Brayman, Christopher D. Bucci, Jordan Thomas Burns, Jennifer L. Carlton, Jessica Carey Cecchini, Tracy Condi, Ashley Elizabeth Connor, Juliana L. Curry, Kim Schwartz DeFranco, Rachel Shannon DeLaRocco, Joanna Marie DiMartino, James T. Ducharme, Joseph Michael Eckstein, Amy Jennifer Frank, Jennifer Mary Gersney, Joshua Walter Hartshorn, Sydney Michelle Hewitt, Gloria A. Jean, Andrea L. Jett, Natalie Marie Kratochville, John Lehrer, James Loeffler, Amanda Christine Lalick, Stephanie E. Luce, Frances May, Lori Lee Morrison, Amy Iman Moselli, Michael Anthony Negrone, Sarah Mary O'Brien, Nia Alyssa O'Connor, Kelly B. Honorato, Harry A. Raymond, Ryan Neal Reed, Ronald Rockwood, Deanna Rosinski, Alexandra V. Sapienza, Beth A. Schloika, Katie Lynn Sill, Roy D. Stiles, Caroline Testa, Jacqueline Dingham Vandenberg, Kristen Woodhead, Karina P.S. Yeomans. The Master of Science graduates in the School of Mathematics and Science are Sai Raghavendra Chowdhury Bashiam, Tiana Jade Bracken. This graduate has earned both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Joshua James Bullard, Yu Heng Chen, Janine Rose Countryman, Victoria G. Dingley, Reshma Ambika Ganukapati, Rupak Gautam, Ram Vijay S. Kalaraman, Amber Elizabeth Levere, Bhupal Kumar Mishra, Noelle Patricia Ramona Pagan, Katie Ann Parisi, Brianna A. Perrone, Lauren A. Rabidow, Jessica Marie Roberts, Danielle Elizabeth Stokna, Saif Ullah, Padma Shakaro Vayukvagula, Lori J. Walker.